my channel, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to Vlogmas Day 6. Today I have a fun video because I am doing my 2024 book superlatives video. So this video I'm going to have multiple categories and I'm going to tell you from my Storygraph because I actually switched to Storygraph this year. Love Storygraph. If you have not made the switch from Goodreads to Storygraph, you need to in 2025. It is the best app ever. It is Black, woman owned. It is just so much more top tier than Goodreads for so many reasons. But anyways, I went on my Storygraph, looked at everything I've read this year, and put them all into their own little categories, which came out to be the 2024 superlatives for me personally. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video. I'm gonna have all the books on the screen here so you can see them, and I will tell you my rating. So the first category, if I'm looking to the side, it's because I'm reading the list. So first category is the book I read the quickest. Now I had a couple of books this year that I read within like a day, but I just went ahead and did the first one that I read the quickest in the year just to make it easier. For me, that was Interesting Facts About Space by Emily Austen. I gave this book 4.75 stars. I really enjoyed it. It is such a quirky, fun read. I actually ended up recommending this book to one of my book friends here on BookTube, the Book Hermit. I will have their channel linked down below, but they have a whole video where they read it, did my favorite activity. It was so fun. If you have not read Interesting Facts About Space, I highly recommend it. I actually went and bought some more Emily Austen books this year because I loved it so much. Okay, second category is book that made me cry the most. This was honestly so easy to come up with. I read this book very early in 2024. I think I actually read it in January. And that book is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is such an incredible book. Kristen Hanna is such an incredible writer. She really makes you feel all the feelings with her writing. So far, out of all of her books I've read, The Great Alone, The Nightingale, and The Women, and I've given all of them 5 stars. They are absolutely incredible. So definitely The Nightingale. Then the third category is books with plot twists that I didn't see coming. So this was hard because depending on how into the book I am, I'm either really good at finding or figuring out what the plot twist is or really bad at it. So for this one, I ended up going with one that genuinely I had my jaw on the floor, and not in a good way, but that is Saving Noah by Lucinda Berry. I ended up not rating this book because of the plot twist, and I just didn't feel comfortable rating it. It evoked a lot of emotion for me, and I just highly recommend checking your trigger warnings before you even step foot into this book. It is a short book, but I genuinely don't even know how to explain this book and what it did to me. So we have book with the best cover. Now I went through every single book that I read, and although there were lots of really pretty covers, this one was just so unique, and I actually just read it. It's Pizza Girl by Jean Young Fraser. I just love the cover of this. I think it's so unique. It's very artistic. It really made me want to buy the book. It's actually one of the reasons I did buy the book instead of borrowing it from the library. But yeah, I really like that cover, and I ended up giving Pizza Girl 3.5 stars, so not terrible. Next up is a book that I have avoided. Book on my shelf that I have avoided. So there's so many books on my shelf that I've genuinely avoided because I am annoying, and I'm one of those people that if I know I'm gonna love a book, or if it's really hyped, I avoid reading it for some reason. I don't know why I do that. This one is actually the opposite. I fear I may not like this book. And that book is Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I know there are a ton of Elsie Silver, like diehard fans. I've only read one book by Elsie Silver. I read Flawless, and I did not enjoy it. I don't think I'm a cowboy romance type of girly, but to each their own. I'm not shading Elsie or anything like that. I think her books are great for some people, just maybe not for me. And then the next category is a book I regret buying. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack from one person for saying this, but I have to say it. I mean it. I regret buying Hills of Shivers and Shadows by Pam Godwin. I know. It was a book club book. The cover was so pretty, but it was kind of expensive on Amazon, and I cannot. I've already sold my copy on Pango. I can't do it. There are some things that really just turn me off of books, and it's very rare that a book does that, but this book definitely did that. Another book that I just don't feel like I should be giving a rating for. Then we have a book talk book worth the hype. Now 2024 was definitely my year of being on Book Talk. I don't have a TikTok or anything, so don't go looking for me. You're not gonna find me. But and if you do, it's not me. But I definitely scrolled Book Talk way too much, and it may have influenced me a little too much this year too. But moving on, a Book Talk book that was worth the hype 100,000,000% is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. This book was so cute. I loved it. I am not really a romance reader. I love romantasy, but with romance I really need there to be some like plot. Like I can't just have Hallmarky insta love type of romance. I also hate miscommunication, but yeah, I tend to be a big fan of like Kennedy Ryan, Jennifer Hartman, people that really put a lot of thought into their characters when it comes to romance, instead of just like, oh, this girl works at a butterfly shop and this guy is the broody man living in town and he hates her but then he actually loves her and whatever. I just can't do it. But Out on a Limb was seriously so good. So good. If you haven't read it, you definitely need to. I actually bought some more Hannah Bonham Young books, and I got approved for her new book coming on NetGalley, so very exciting. But I gave Out on a Limb 4.5 stars, which is not like me for romance. Usually 3.5 stars is like good. So that just goes to show how much I really did enjoy that book. And then on the flip side of that, a Book Talk book that was not worth the hype at all, in my opinion, please don't come for me, 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I did not enjoy this book at all. I thought it was just, I didn't like it. I didn't cry over it. I did cry over If He Had Been With Me, and I actually did read by Laura Nowlin. I had read that like not too long before I read 1,000 Boy Kisses, and I feel If He Had Been With Me is far superior, but that is just my take. I know a lot of people on Book Talk love this book. That's fine. Reading is subjective. That's totally fine. It just wasn't for me. Next category is favorite romantasy read. Now this has actually been really easy for me. I didn't read anywhere near as much fantasy this year as I would like to. I feel like next year is definitely going to be a big fantasy year for me, just because I'm really in my fantasy era right now, specifically romantasy, but I digress. My favorite romantasy reads this year, I could not pick between two. The first one is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. If you know, you know. I'm sure you know. The second, however, is definitely the Kindred's Curse saga, specifically book number 2, Glow. By Penn Cole. The way that I could not stop listening to this book, I had to for collabs and stuff like that. I had to take a pause on it. And I did not want to. The entire time I was reading any books for any collabs, I was just like, I just want to know what happens to my babies. Like, I just need to know. And when I tell you that my jaw was on the actual floor, in the way I started Heat, immediately after. If you have not read the Kindred's Curse saga, what are you doing? Like, if you take one thing from this video, please go read that series. Like, I have a lot of good recommendations in this video, I think, but that series deserves literally more, I think, deserves more hype than Fourth Wing. I said it, I said it, I said it, I said it. But it's so true. It's so true. And it's almost done. We have one book left that hopefully will come out soon, and Fourth Wing, we still have a lot of books to go. So anyways, before I start a fight in the comments, let's carry on. My favorite romance read this year, of course, was a dark romance. You know me, I am a dark romance girly. I love my dark romance. Romance is fine, but dark romance is just so good. And for me, that one was Pen Pal by JT Gessinger. Let me double check on the name. JT Geisinger. I may be saying that wrong. Holy guacamole, you guys. This book was 5 stars. 5 stars. I made all of my friends read it. Well, I can't physically make them read it, but I definitely was like, y'all need to read it. It's so much more than just a dark romance. It's so good. It's paranormal. It's mystery thriller. It's so freaking good. It's so good. So good. So go read it. Check your triggers. Obviously, everything I'm telling you, you need to check your trigger warnings. I'm not going to be responsible for your mental health damage, whatever, but such a good book. And then after that category, I decided that we should do my least favorite romantasy read. And this was a big letdown this year, unfortunately. I do see it in a new light now, but for me, it was Reckless by Lauren Roberts. I love Powerful. I love Powerless. I loved both of those books so much. I had such high expectations for Reckless. It just didn't do it for me. It just did not do it for me until the very end. And I don't vibe with that. Like, I want to be in it the entirety of the book, like I was with the Kindred Curse saga. And I just wasn't in Reckless the way that I was in for Powerless and Powerful. But then my least favorite romance read was, unfortunately, Leather and Lark. I loved Butcher and Blackbird so much. Leather and Lark was quite the letdown. I still gave it 3.5 stars. I just don't know. It just wasn't as good, in my opinion. And then we have a book that pleasantly surprised me. This one has to be The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchinson. I hope I'm saying these names right. I gave this book 5 stars. This will forever live up here in my brain, in my memory. I could not put this book down. It is very dark. It is very dark, so highly, highly, highly recommend. Again, trigger warnings, looking them up, all that stuff. But it was so good. Her writing, Dot's writing, is actually incredible. First of all, it's on Kindle Unlimited, so you can go read it now for free. There's also a second book to the series. There might be more, but I saw there was a second one, and I will definitely be reading that because the main female character of this book was actually incredible. And that leads us to our last category, the book that let me down the most this year. And I know I'm gonna get so much shade for this one, but that was Project Hail Mary. Oh, I said it. It was Project Hail Mary. I couldn't do it, you guys. I got the audiobook. I was so excited about it, and I don't know. I don't know. I think for me, it's that it's sci-fi, and I'm very, very specific about what kind of sci-fi books I like. I really liked Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Loved Ready Player One. Yeah, I didn't vibe with Project Hail Mary. It just... Anyways, yeah, that's all I have to say. I gave that book 2 stars, and I'm gonna carry on to the end of the video now because I, again, don't want you guys to hate me forever. But that is my 2024 book superlatives. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already. Let me know what your favorite book of the year was, or your least favorite book of the... No, let's keep it positive. What was your favorite book of the year, or a book that pleasantly surprised you the most? And yeah, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye guys!